英語聞き流しリスニング、英語テキストと MP3 ダウンロード、その他の物語はホームページからお聞きいただけます。88thpp.com 88thpp.com
Hi, I'm your host, Hidemi Woods. I'm reading an episode from my book, An Old Tree in Kyoto. Today, I'll read an episode titled The Pit. This one is about one of my dreams I once saw. The Pit. I had an interesting dream the other night. In it, I was at my parents' house in my hometown. My father set a bomb in my purse to blow up the house. I ran out to escape and found that the house was placed at the bottom of a deep pit. The only way to survive was to climb up a steep slope to the edge of the pit. While climbing it desperately with all my force, I saw a rainbow on the edge. Finally, I reached to the edge. There was nobody else except me who was out of the pit. I looked up at the sky and saw a gigantic red dragon. When I was awed by the beautiful sight, fireworks began. And I woke up. I thought something very good might happen to me because I saw several items which are regarded as of good omen, such as a rainbow, a dragon, and fireworks. But then again, I know nothing will happen from my experience. I once saw a dream of picking up a large coin of $10 million, and yet nothing has happened. That was today's episode, The Pit. Dreams are interesting, aren't they? I always have a dream so vividly. My dreams are always so vivid. And for some reason, I'm often confused with whether it was just a dream or it really happened to me in reality. I sometimes couldn't tell the difference because the difference between my dreams and reality was so little to distinguish. So to me, dreams are so confusing. And this one particular dream, which I just told you on this episode, was probably came from my memory that I once read in a book. When I was young, I read a novel titled Sandwoman. It's a Japanese novel written by a Japanese novelist named Kobo Abe. It was such a good novel. I liked the story so much. That was why it came into my dream as a motif. The novel, Sandwoman, was about it's a fiction, and in it a man was touted for a easy money job, and someone introduced a good job with easy money to him. And that main character took that job because money was good. And it was a kind of a caretaker job of a house. And the house was sitting at the bottom of the deep pit and surrounded by sand. There was a vast sandy hill, sandy ground, and in the sandy land there was one big hole, and inside that deep hole there was a small house. And he just to take his job, he went down to the house, and in the house there was a woman. She was there to take care of him, and staying that house was his job. And daily necessities and food was carried in by the bucket or something from above, once a day or once a week or something. And but he just felt weird. What he felt so anxious, uneasy about his job, and he changed his mind and he decided to quit. But there was no way to get out of the pit. He couldn't climb up because no matter how hard he tried to climb up, it was sand all over him, and he couldn't grab anything. It was sand. It just flowed. It just flowed all over him. It was like water, as you know. So he couldn't climb by the surface of sand. And he ended up spending years, and he tried to get out of the pit every day. He tried various ways. He tried to figure out how the possible ways to get out of the pit. And he tried every day, but every way he tried turned to be a failure. He failed his comprised ways each time. So he couldn't get out, and years passed. And then gradually he had been wary of trying, and he just in the end he just quit trying to get out. He just ended up staying there. It's a scary story, but I think it may happen in reality. I think the story is somehow familiar as a metaphor to real life. So I like this story, and so I think it I saw that my dream from this novel. And about my dreams, sometimes it really became reality. I very rarely, but I sometimes foresaw. I've sometimes foreseen what would happen later in reality in my dream. But I don't know why, but ironically, good dreams that don't become reality. I foresaw just bad ones. So when I see a bad dreams, it can become true. So I wonder why it turned vice versa. But usually bad dreams came true for me. And the dream I just told you I wrote in this episode also became reality in a way. It took time, but it materialized. I mean, it, it. My father didn't plant a bomb into my purse. That was not the part that part of what became reality. But what really happened was um, was about the house. About 30 years later, um, when from I saw this dream. I saw this dream, and then about 30 years later, the parents' house was demolished because um, my father, um, my father had a terrible financial difficulty, and he couldn't have any way but selling the family house that was inherited generation after generation. And he, because of financial crunch, he sold the house, and the house was demolished, and my parents moved into a small apartment. So the house where I grew up was gone now. So in a way, it was the house was gone, and I was the only one who got out of the bed, because I left home long before my father got into the financial crunch. So when he sold his house, I had already moved out to Tokyo. So I left home, but my parents stayed. And then, so they just had remained in the deep pit. I climbed out, and I think I'm not rich, I'm poor, but considering my parents' life after that, I think I'm much better off than my parents. My parents' life has been mess since they sold the house and moved into an apartment. So I think I climbed out, but I left home. I'm doing what I want for my life as a musician, and I'm kind of free now, but I'm happy after I left home. But I mean, I after I climbed up out of the pit. But I mean, I said I'm happy now, but I meant mentally. I not happy financially. So even though I successfully got out of the deep pit, I still have no money. So it's just I'm mentally satisfied. I'm mentally saved, per se. So I thought there were some items of good omen when you see them in your dreams. So such as I read, a rainbow, a dragon, fireworks. Those were supposed to be good omen. So when you see them, something good will wait for you to happen. And I believed it, but even though I saw them in one dream, nothing happened, and I'm still waiting, but for 30 years, but at least they had nothing. Those items had nothing to do with money, because money hasn't come to me at all yet. I'm just waiting. So I don't know about good omen that much, but at least those items have nothing to do with income. By the way, ironically, I am born. I was born in a year of dragon. I'm a dragon woman and have no money. Interesting, isn't it? Well, that's all for today. Thanks for listening. I hope you come back and join me again soon. I'm Hidemi Woods. Until next time, take care and be well.
Audiobook, The Family in Kyoto, One Japanese Girl Got Freedom by Hidemi Woods on sale at online stores or apps. Apple Books, Google Play, Audible, 43 available distributors in total. Audiobook, Japanese Dream by Hidemi Woods on sale at online stores or apps. Apple, Audible, Google Play, Nook Audiobooks, 43 available distributors in total.
英語聞き流しリスニング、英語テキストと MP3 ダウンロード、その他の物語はホームページからお聞きいただけます。 88thpp.com 88thpp.com